Okay, we're back with our final series of the night. Thank you so much. If you've been with us here this this entire time, then I'm surprised you're surviving, because I'm definitely these games have taken a toll on my body physically, mentally, emotionally. I'm a husk of my former casting self, but I cannot wait to get into our final series of the night to find out who will be our last player to advance out of Group F. It's going to be between DragOn and Napoleon, and if Napoleon can put up that strong of a fight versus DeWalt, I'm excited to see what he has to bring here against DragOn. If DragOn can hold on and maybe have a chance at advancing out himself. So our map pool is going to be In the Way of an Eddy, Circuit Breaker, and Benzene. Yes.
Yep. So it's going to be a rematch for DragOn on here versus Napoleon on Eddy. And did they play on Circuit Breaker? I can't remember, but it seems like a rematch, not just between the players, but also the maps. So I'm ready if we're ready. Don't want to stall it out anymore. I want to see these epic games.
That's right. I'm ready for Eddy, so let's start game number 1. All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the final series of the night. Starting in the bottom left-hand corner, in the oh my God, are we really doing this? In the almost white color, this is our Protoss player, DragOn. Oh my goodness, this is sweet.
Yeah, wow, these colors are pretty. This is pretty bad. I actually thought both players were white at this point. But in the top left, we've got the actual white Zerg. It is Napoleon.
Hey, at least they're a different race. I'll never forget casting an ASL game. It was a PvP between orange and yellow, and they just built lots of Archons. And I'm just like, well, I'm doing the best I can. There's only so much I can do with this, so I'm just really going to be learning a lot from looking at the mini-map this game. That's for sure.
Yeah. So what builds are we going to be pulling out for both of these players? Looks like DragOn is going to do a little bit different. He had success with his gateway pressure, if you remember. And now he's going to go into another gateway build. Now, what will the follow-up be? We saw him go Stargate the majority of the games. The one game he did go Citadel, it worked out very nicely for him. But look at this time. DragOn does not have that DeWalt sense unless he does a hook around.
Watch him just magically. He gave his
Are we
his
serious?
probe like a sextant. No way he takes a left-hand turn here.
I would lose it if he did.
Yeah, is DragOn a god? Is he gonna turn around? I don't think so.
I mean, this is like we were saying. The majority of the time, the Zerg players will scout horizontally. But remember that one scout path. I think that Napoleon did where he went vertically. This would be an anti-scout pattern for DragOn if it ended up being Napoleon at bottom right. But I have a feeling DragOn's going to go cross scout. Now he's going to intercept the Overlord. Is he? Oh, wow. This was an anti-scout part. Well, maybe not. He's going to double scout this time.
Okay, well, at least this scout is going to catch the drone moving out. So he's going to be able to kind of divine where he should be scouting. So unlucky scout pattern there for DragOn, and for Napoleon, he is going to get in here with the drone. See that it is a gateway expand and get there before the drone's in any danger from the Zealot or anything like that. But probe getting in, see the hatchery on the way. All is as it should be.
Now look at this. We're getting a flashback to TT1. This is not a single Zealot expand. We've got a second one already queued up. So that means DragOn probably even going to go up to 3 Zealots and try to get some damage done. Even another pylon. So yes, this is most definitely, I would assume, going to be a third Zealot at this point. The first one's already halfway across the map. Oh, it's more than halfway across the map. Sorry, this was 3 Zealots. I didn't even realize that first one already got out there so fast.
I honestly thought it was a drone or something. Minimap is just, I'm just going to turn the minimap off at this point. I think I can do that, right? Yeah, all right. I turned the mini-map off. It's just as useful, confirmed. But yeah, the Zealots is actually doing a good job in the main. Just killing off a couple of Lings. Loses the probe for free though. That's not what you want to do.
I think in this scenario, it's not that bad because we know we have multiple Zealots coming in. He's already got one at the natural. Once the Lings get on top of the natural Zealot, he's probably going to sneak that other one into the main, so he'll be able to get another scout off. Now DragOn going into a Nexus behind it. Gonna have to see how many Zealots he wants to keep building with this build. He's got more being built, so this really does look like the TT1 style. The Lings are going to try and clear up these Zealots. It's important that they keep the Zealots out on the natural and not let them into the main. But the surface area for the Lings are not that great. The Zealots are going to trade so well. Feels like it's already snowballing a little bit too hard for DragOn at this point.
Yeah, you cannot afford to keep making this many Lings without them building up. And the great thing about this style with the Zealots is that if you can keep the Zealots alive, they build up to a critical mass that you can't fight anymore. Because all of a sudden, you start one-shotting things. And it just makes the control so much more potent. A couple of Zealots actually starting to regen shields at this point, and that's when you really get that hashtag value.
Yeah, we've got 3 Zealots here. They're in great positioning. Well, that one not so much, but a third Zealot is coming in from DragOn. He's just rallying across the map. I'm getting flashbacks to when I originally started playing again, where Bisu was just rallying Zealots across the map while teching and expanding at the same time, just decimating Zergs, and that's exactly what DragOn's doing. Napoleon is transitioning pretty well. He's already got his lair up, but his econ is really shot. He's had to build so many Lings to deal with so few Zealots, and the Zealot trying to get a drone kill. Will it get that kill? Now he
Oh my
gets
god,
him.
it does. What a legend. He's also going to continue to trade effectively by nestling the Zealot in the cleft of the rock up there until he gets eaten by the last remaining Zerglings. But look at this. We've got so many Lings built, so many drones dead, so many annoying Zealots. Wait, where's that last Zealot? Oh, it's in the natural. Oh my god. It never stops.
Yeah, I didn't even realize it was there because the colors are so bad. But the Zealot did deal a little bit of damage. It forced out more Lings regardless. Finally gets cleaned up. So Napoleon will have a little bit of breathing room to start finally getting his econ going. Meanwhile, DragOn behind it's got his Stargate. He's got his Citadel. He's got second gate coming down. He's got +1 going. So sure, Napoleon's safe for now, but we have 4 gates coming. DragOn's going to keep on the pressure in the next couple minutes.
This is so crazy to me. Definitely not used to seeing this style. Also, I just want to say, like, I'm not sure if this is karmic justice for my past lives or whatever, but to have cast for like a long time this morning and for almost 8 a.m. and for us to have these colors, it's just like come on, man. Like, I gotta have something going for me here. So maybe the game will spontaneously end in 30 seconds. I don't know, but let's see what our mini-map has in store for us yet. There's one of the blobs is a Corsair moving out on the left-hand side of the map. I'll let you guys guess which one.
Yeah, so DragOn probably just going to poke in here, see exactly what's going on. Going to turn around. Oh, the Scourge almost popping on top of that Corsair again. But DragOn does know exactly what's going on. It's 5 hatch Hydra. Pretty standard. There's Evolution Chamber. It's going to be +1 Hydra. But this is much slower than normal. And meanwhile, DragOn's build really has not been hampered at all. He's already got 6 Zealots. He's got 4 gates. So speed is going to kick in pretty soon. He's going to be attacking with 12 Zealots. That's way more than the normal 7 Zealot timing. It's going to be so hard for Napoleon to defend it. Also, Napoleon hasn't really gotten a scout into DragOn's base at all. So he has no idea the amount of Zealots that will be coming at him within the next minute or so.
This is actually going to be very surprising. So I'm looking around. The real hero here, Corsair Man, pushing away all of the Zerg scouting information. So finally, that Zergling is going to see that there's actually, I guess the Zergling only saw 6, but there's actually 10 Zealots moving across the map with more following.
Yeah, now all DragOn has to do now is identify the weak point. Mid-left, that's not the weak point. If he goes to the Nat, I feel like this could just be lights out. Oh, he's turning around. No, don't turn around. There's not that many Lings. He's going to the left side. Wow, this is really the worst spot he could attack. He's gonna not be able to do any damage here. The drone drilling will be amazing. The Lings even bottlenecking the Zealots coming in. See, the drones just doing a great job not allowing... Wow, the Zealots actually do get on top of the Sunkens. There's really not that many units for Napoleon. Hydra's trying to get in here.
Wait a second. That was actually deceptively good.
Yeah, that was surprisingly good. And meanwhile, remember, Dragon's on 4 or 5 gates, so he's got 5 more Zealots coming in. And if he sends these Zealots from the back and catches the Hydras, those Hydras are toast.
He's actually getting on quite a few of the Hydras, reinforcing Zealots coming in. Not quite sandwiching the Hydras, but they are still there. They're still hitting. Lots of drones going down here as well. But the Hydra's getting dealt with very easily. These speed lots so good. The +1 helping them chew through these Hydras just so, I don't know, deliciously. It's not looking good for our Zerg hero, Napoleon.
This is just too much damage for Napoleon. Zerg, the race that cannot build workers and units at the same time. Meanwhile, Dragon, he's just continually sending out Zealots. He's even got a DT mixed in now. He's continually making probes. He could even take a 3rd base at this point. But really, if he just puts down 8 gates, goes for another big bust, the game probably just ends.
I mean, he's still not done with his Zealots. 5 at a time. Rallied across the map, and a DT in here as well. And while it won't be impervious to damage, it will still deal a lot of it.
Yeah, this 3rd base is shut down, even getting drones now. All the Hydras are going to die. Another good drone, Sim City, but it doesn't matter. There's just flat out too many Zealots. Saturation for Napoleon, not very good at the natural. So his Econ's completely shot. This Evolution Chamber doing work, but I don't think that's enough. Here comes more gates for Dragon. He is going to set up for that big 6 to 8 deadly attack. He did spam a few cannons because he is not sure if Napoleon could potentially bust him, so I like this safe play. But really, there's no chance for Napoleon to bust in here, and it feels like once Dragon just gets up to maybe 2 control groups of units, how can Napoleon deal with this army?
Well, I mean, if you name yourself Napoleon, then maybe you have a better chance at dealing with armies people don't think you should be able to deal with. But historical memes aside, I don't think so.
How many
there's also
Templar
like
Dragon even has? He's got 7.
Oh my, he's got seven. That's just quite a few there, Nyoken. Wow. Well, I mean, there's almost that many Hydras. So as long as he kills like 2 Hydras with each storm, he'll be okay.
I mean, yeah, it's just, to be honest, this is so many Templar. Dragon should think about making Archons, or maybe not. He's just waiting to build more Dragoons. He's going to be banking energy. So these 7 Templar are going to have 2 storms available each. Oh, Napoleon's army is highly clumped. Luckily, he moves them just in time because those Templars were about to pounce on him. Oh no, they still might pounce.
Or does he?
Does he have storm?
Okay, that's like the worst storm of the perfect ones available. Okay, well, I mean, I guess he's got Infinity Storm, so like, yeah, just throw him out there, man. All right.
I mean, look at the Hydra count for Napoleon. It's pretty scary, but then you look at the actual supply, 55, so that's definitely not going to be enough. The storms are just endless. He's doing a good job dodging them, but it just doesn't matter when you don't have any econ behind it. So
yeah.
Really, Dragon just needs to get maybe 1 or 2 more cycles of Zealots, and then it's going to be good to go.
I will say that Dragon might have had a better opportunity if he had pulled back and let the Hydras funnel into the storms. Instead, he sort of pushed out and into the concave of Hydras, which made it harder to hit like those big money storms we're used to seeing. So, I mean, he still does have a ton of them, and an Archon now kind of leading the way. So let's see if he can break up this high ground. That's obviously not an ideal place for these Dragoons to fight. The storms work just as well no matter where you put them. Ooh, okay, that last, oh, the pain, the suffering, oh my god.
That storm was a backbreaker. The other ones, Napoleon was doing a good job of dodging, but supplies tell the whole story. 35 to 105. Dragon just going to plow through here. There's really no hope, so Dragon's going to be going up 1-0, and he'll be 1 game away from making it out of this group.
Oh, that's going to do it. GG, Napoleon taps out. DragOn takes game number 1.
That was a convincing win. I like that style, the TT1 style. I don't know who came up with it, but that was... I love the Rally Zealot. Like I said, when I first came back, Bisu was doing something like that, and I actually thought it was broken. I'm like watching Hero die to literally one Zealot just sent after the other. I'm like, is there no counter? So that was nicely played from DragOn.
Well, it does look very good, especially if you can protect a couple of the early Zealots. So you're hitting with like 3 at the same time, even if they're a little weak. You start to kill those early Lings, and all of a sudden the pressure that it puts on the Zerg players, like, well, I guess I'm just not building drones for a little bit. Really cool to see that work well, and for it to be executed by someone who is still in the BSL. And maybe DragOn will continue to show that kind of style. But I don't know. I don't think that that's something you want to bring out too often. Otherwise, your opponent just goes for the pool timing that he needs to kind of target that down. But yeah, I don't know what to expect from this next game. But it is really cool to see DragOn pull that out and execute it successfully.
Yeah, so our next map is going to be Circuit Breaker. Zergit Breaker, as Zero calls it. So it's going to be the best map Napoleon gets. And he's got to win here, because else that's it. There's no other game. He must win. This is make or break for him.
Yeah, in theory, yes, this is maybe the best chance he'll get. This is a big standard 5 or 4 player. That's a 5 player. Wait, what was that 5 player map that they had? Was it Camelot with the flags and weird stuff? Anyway, it is only 4 players, thankfully, and we're going to be getting into it. Maybe our last game of the night, so you have a limited amount of time to follow Zero's Twitch channel to get notified whenever BSL comes back, because we might almost be done with the group. My inner voice saying, "Go to sleep, you've been up too long," is starting to kick in right now. So either way I win, right? Either it ends quickly or it goes long and we get better games. So it's like, well, you know, what a time to be alive. So let's get into it. It's Circuit Breaker for game number 2 of DragOn versus Napoleon. All right, let's things off by introducing our players. In the bottom right-hand corner, in the red, from Finland, it is our Zerg player, Napoleon.
And in the top right, he's 1 game away, looked very dominant in the last one. It's DragOn. Yep, so DragOn, I think he should keep going for that build. That seemed pretty deadly. Just like the Hive play was deadly versus DragOn from Napoleon, it seems like maybe this gateway pressure build is causing a little bit of a problem for Napoleon, so I would expect DragOn to go for that again. It really was just very punishing. Now I have to pay attention to this probe. Is it going to leave? So it is leaving, so that means it's going to be a Forge expand. I'm pretty surprised at this choice.
Yeah, that gateway style worked really well, and even if you don't go for the same Zealot flood, you can still just send 1 Zealot over and force your opponent to think, uh-oh, here we go again, when in reality it's only 1 Zealot that you're committing. So yeah, not going to see that, and instead just going to have a departure back to kind of a standard style. So I want to see if Napoleon is willing to try to go for a 3-hatch Hydra bust again, because that would be a one way to redeem himself after that game versus DeWalt.
Yeah, he may go for it, but this time DragOn's gotten off a first scout. Unlike DeWalt, though, I think DragOn's gotten his probe caught a couple times. So if he can catch that probe, we could definitely see a potential Hydra bust. It would be very tilting if I was in Napoleon's shoes, where in both elimination games, I go for a Hydra bust and it gets denied. That'd be very infuriating, so I'm not sure if he will go for that. He may just try and play a standard game. Look at this probe trying to block this hatch as long as possible. Doing a good job so far, even pylon blocking. He did this versus Baku Ryu with good success.
Yeah, it did work super well against Baku Ryu. So maybe learning from his predecessor's mistake. We'll see how Napoleon deals with this. So, I guess more importantly, what I'm excited for, because this is on a pretty standard map, we saw what was it, blockchain get totally mined out. So maybe one way to if this game does go pretty late is to start expanding very, very early on. And I think he might actually start that with a third base. Yeah, actually at 245. I'm waiting to see what the plan is, because it's not going to be aggression from DragOn for a while. He's putting up cannon, gateway at the front, Nexus is on the way, so yeah, not a whole lot DragOn's going to be out on the map doing in the meantime.
Well, DragOn was able to get this probe into the base of Napoleon. It was a shock because there were 3 lings on the ramp, but it did manage to slip by. And now DragOn sees that this gas is a 3-minute gas. Again, not the 235 standard gas. Now, since I'm not a Protoss player, I'm not sure exactly what that means, but you can bet your money that DragOn knows exactly what's going on. Now, from just my point of view looking at this, it seems like it's going to be a more economic play. Probably going to be 6-hatch Hydra if I had to guess. But if this probe gets caught again, Napoleon has the opportunity to go for 3-hatch Hydra.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what the immediate hallmark is of that switchover. I guess it would be whether or not we are going to see a lair and how quickly that probe goes down. So let's keep an eye out, and it does look like we are going to have the lair morphing in the natural. But if he kills the probe and goes for a cancel, it'd be a sick mind game.
Yeah, so there's the lair. I think the probe did see it. The DragOn's going to keep trying to get in here. Now the lair, again, it is so early in the game that it could be a cancel wall. Maybe we're approaching levels where it's a little bit too late to go for a cancel, I think, because we already got the cybernetics down. We're going to have Stargate, potentially Citadel going down. So I think we've passed that point. There's no chance of a Hydra bust at this point, but there is the Citadel. So I guess DragOn has decided that based on this gas timing, it's got to be most likely some type of Hydra play, or the mutas are so late that if he can get in with Zealots, they could potentially deal crippling damage.
All right, I'm excited. I loved the Zealot playing game number 1. Obviously, this is different, but still equally has the potential of being equally potent, just in a larger number at a later timing. So let's see how Napoleon wants to set up his defenses here. Obviously, he wants to get that SimCity started. I thought that was what the drone was for out in the front, but I guess maybe it has other plans. And yeah, Spire going down, so I'm not too worried.
This looks like DT build because we don't have that many Zealots for DragOn. He's getting +1 though, so that does make it look like a timing. But speed also hasn't started. There's the Templar Archive at the bottom at the natural. So it is going to be a DT play. Of course, it could be Templars, but we've seen more DT action instead of the Templar or straight Templar build. But these Zealots have gotten across the map unhindered. It's going to shut down the mineral line. Probably there's only 2 lings here. The drill is not that good. There goes the gateway flood for DragOn too. So it's probably going to be 1 DT, make it a little chaotic, get some drone pulls, and then strikes with a follow-up attack with, just like last game, maybe 10 Zealots or so with +1. It's going to be hard for Napoleon to deal with. If he doesn't balance his units just right, he could get overrun.
Yeah, and there's always that chance that the DT deals sick bonus damage, and you're just like, wow, okay, well, cool. Really glad that one's in there. Look at this drone pull down to the third base. I mean, that's a lot to transfer just to avoid the Zealot taking everything out of the natural. Okay, cool. Well, that mineral only is just going to be mining away. Lots of income there for Napoleon. But as he speeds these lings across the... is he going to catch the DT? No.
He almost caught it, but it has snuck by. But at least Napoleon saw it, so he knows exactly what's going on. But you can see Napoleon is a bit flustered at this point because we're on 4-hatch as opposed to 5-hatch. We're floating a bunch of money. We're almost supply blocked. We've got excessive lings. And this is all going to catch up to him pretty soon. there's a ton of Templar coming out from DragOn again. So again, it's looking like just like what we saw last game. Bank up energy, go for big Dragoon Zealot timing, and this time, just like last game, the econ for Napoleon is not that great. I don't think he'll be able to hold on.
I don't know. I mean, I would concur. How do you hold on?
We're banking so much resources.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going Mutas. He's got +1 armor going for air. Unfortunately for him, these Templars that DragOn made, they're for Archons.
Yeah. I mean, maybe you could still storm the Mutas even if they weren't, but now you don't need storm. You don't need anything. You need to go. And he is going to send out, what is this, 5 Zealots, 2 Archons, and some very sad Mutas about to pop out. There's even that cheeky DT in there as well. And if you look at the natural, there is an Overlord there. Or the third base. I think he is actually just going to try to go for this natural instead. And, well, here we go. That other Archon on the other side of the bridges. I'll catch a few of these Zerglings, taking out precious Lings right before this hits. All right, here we go. Running the DT in. The target fire is good, but the Sunken goes down.
Yeah.
Oh no, look at the Mutas.
Yeah, they're exposed. That one Archon is pretty low, but Archon's so good versus Mutas.
Oh
Napoleon's
no.
scrambling to get some Hydras out because the Mutas are definitely not going to kill the Archons. But there's so many Zealots left over that Hydras are just going to go to the Zealots. So this is probably it. DragOn going to go up 2-0, and he's going to get out of this group. That's a second place finisher. Yeah, that's exactly correct. Just a little too late. Oh, that's so heartbreaking for Napoleon.
Wow. Well, I know that feel. That is very. It's too late for me as well. So I'm going to be eliminated from this group as well as Napoleon. But congratulations to DragOn for that really sick Archon Zealot timing. I've seen guys like Rain do that same thing in ASL, and it's just always very surprising because you just don't see it coming, especially if you're going for Mutas. That is not the way. All right, well, for one last time, I'm going to turn on my camera and say thank you so much to everyone for coming out and tuning into this group of the BSL. I hope you very much enjoyed the show. If you did, consider subscribing or donating, but at the very least, hit the follow button right up above the channel and make sure to head on over to Twitter and follow Bombastic Star, which is the Bombastic Starleauge's Twitter account, to get notified about matchups in advance, VODs, and all sorts of other BSL stuff. You can also follow Nyoken and myself on Twitter as well, and those links get posted in the chat off to the right at Rapid Casting and at the Nyoken to find out whatever Nyoken and I are up to. And once again, just a big thanks to Zero behind the scenes for running BSL and helping out with everything behind the scenes. So I think that about covers it. You got anything to say, Nyoken?
Yeah, the games were great. I think the players that got out were the expected ones to get out, but Napoleon and Baku Ryu really showed that they're a force to reckon with. So I look forward to seeing them in future BSLs. They looked really strong. And one last thing, next week we're not going to be doing any group play, but there's going to be a group draw that Zero's going to be doing. So you're going to find out who the players are going to be going up against in the round of 16. I look forward to that, see where Bonneth, Eon, Sarragan, those players will get placed. But yeah, today was great, and looking forward to future BSL games.
As am I. So a big thanks to everybody involved in BSL and everybody watching BSL. Spread the word, get everybody else watching, and we'll be back for more BSL games after the group draw. And of course, if you're interested in following the scheduling for all of that, you can, of course, follow BSL on Twitter. So I'm going to go pass out, and I hope you all enjoyed the games tonight. So on behalf of myself, Zero, Nyoken, and everybody at BSL, thank you so much for watching. See you back next time.